I think it's done well for the players. It's a very strange time, this, with a midwinter break. There are countries that have a midwinter break, but it's never been known over here. So it disturbs the equilibrium of players, and so I think it's up to Eddie Howe to get them back as soon as possible, get them into the mould of what they've been achieving so far this season, and it's been absolutely brilliant. But and also just hope and pray that all the guys that have been involved in the World Cup have come back injury-free.
Obviously, we played a competitive game out there. We played Al Hilal and we won 5-0. It's a trophy. It's a token trophy for a performance. It's a commercial exercise going to Saudi Arabia, but it was nonetheless good to see Newcastle play a competitive game, score 5 goals, keep a clean sheet, and I think the players got a lot out of that.
I'm sure of it. They must have been absolutely itching to play, because it just sort of this season break for the World Cup, it really does affect players in such a negative way. So yes, it's important to keep playing, and also nice for the guys in December to get a bit of sunshine on their backs.
You touched on the World Cup. It's not coming home for England, not coming home for Spain. It could be Argentina, it could be France. How do you see tomorrow's game going?
It's going to be an interesting one, a really interesting game. And I'm not sure how it's going to go. I think France are an excellent side, but so is Argentina. And there's this Messi factor in the middle of it all. So it really is very, very intriguing. And I've been asked by a number of people, how do you think the final will go? And to be honest, I don't know. I really have no idea. I am so looking forward, though, just to sitting down in front of the box and seeing what happens on that screen. Because I think we've got two sides who are very different in the way that they play, but they are both hugely competitive. Argentina can get quite nasty if they need to, and the French will have to look out for that. I think it's going to be tight all the way through. I really do. If I really was forced to give a prediction for it, I think that France will hold on. I think that Messi will finish disappointed, but it will be very tight all the way to the last kick of the ball.
Obviously, the first half of the season has been successful for Newcastle, sitting third in the league into the later stages of a cup competition, something which we're not used to after 14 years of Mike Ashley. But you win nothing for being third in December. You win nothing for being in the later stages of a cup game in December. So the second half of the season, how do you see that going for Newcastle? Can they repeat their great form?
They can, but they've got to work hard to get up to those heights, because everything's sort of deflated with the break, and so the pace has got to be picked up from when they were last playing, and they've got the best defensive record going. So it's a great mental thing as well as physical, and this game today is hugely important, I think, just to really get back into the groove of everything. And I understand that the players came back from the World Cup duty and there haven't been any injuries of any sort. So hopefully they're all going to be fit and raring to go. Although I'm not so sure that this is the real sort of warm up for it all. I think that this is going to give a number of the of the lesser players a chance to shine. It's against Bournemouth that we'll see the absolute full 100% selection at work. But nevertheless, it's important that everybody gets a run out today, and it's that opportunity, if there are people with that have been out injured, to get back into the swing of things, because this is a good Spanish side. It's good standard, and so they're going to give Newcastle a really tough game today, I think.
We're just talking about Twitter there, and Newcastle have retweeted their original statement about Isak signing for Newcastle. Here we go. Do you think Isak is going to be available at least on the bench today? Because he's our record signing, we haven't seen much of him.
Well, as soon as he's match fit, he needs to play, because getting fit after an injury is one thing, getting match fit is something quite different. And it can take you anything up to 5, maybe 7 games to really lift that last bit of fitness within yourself, and plus the fact that it's timing, it's touch, it's getting everything back and coordinated in him. And we know, we saw in those early 3 games that he played, we saw a very, very good player. He's not one to play with his back to goal. He needs to be facing goal and playing off of a front man, so that he's an ideal partner for Wilson. Absolutely ideal, and coming from deep. And now whether we'll be fortunate enough just to see that pairing at work today, I'm not so sure. But I hope that we will see them against Bournemouth on Tuesday.
Okay, we play, as you said, a good Spanish team today, Rayo Vallecano, 8th in the La Liga. They've played a couple of friendlies over the last couple of weeks as well. Good opposition.
Yeah, very good. I've got a lot of respect for the Spanish league. I think that the standard over there is absolutely tremendous. Having been over to Spain on many an occasion, and been able to watch the games in action, and I love watching the Spanish football and the way that they go about their game. So today is going to be fascinating. It really is, and Eddie Howe, he can't mess about too much with the team, I don't think, because that, what he needs to do is get the first team back and up and running. It's no use doing it with the reserves, as it were.
And Florian Lejeune, of course, he's on loan at Rayo, and a former player in Newcastle. Didn't quite get the look with injuries when he was here.
No, he didn't. He was very unfortunate with regards to that, but I'm sure he'll love to shine here today. But he also didn't have the benefit of playing under this new regime here at St James Park. The whole situation is so different after what Lejeune and the players under the Ashley rule were having to suffer.
Transfer window will be open in January. Newcastle, will they be active?
Very active. I just have a feel that they could be doing the Maddison deal in January, which would be great. I'd be well pleased with that. And Leicester, they are in financial trouble, and so they need to do business I think, just to survive financially just at the moment, and that's all in Newcastle's favour. So yes, they will be active, and it won't just be Maddison. I'm sure that there's others, but the Christmas window is always it's always a strange old marketplace, and what I would like to see done is bringing in not just short-term players but long-term players, if they're available, the right quality players to be here long term, and they're not often ready to go. It's more like the summer that you get that. But I have the feeling that the Madison deal will go through.
Any outgoings, Malcolm?
Yeah, there's quite a list. Yeah, I'd sort of post them around to various clubs and say, take your pick. Yeah, there's quite a few that can go, and I think that space needs to be made for new players coming in. You know, you don't. Eddie Howe doesn't want a cluttered dressing room, cluttered training ground. He wants to stay very focused, along with the players who are his first teamers. Stay very focused on the job that's in hand.
As we're outnumbered, I'm not going to ask you for a prediction. I'm just going to say that Malcolm will be back at 3 o'clock after the game to talk about the game. But from our Spanish friends, can we have one more chorus? Supermac, superstar, how many goals have you scored so far?
Superman, superstar, how many goals have you scored so far?
Thank you very much. Enjoy the game.